Hi, my name is Rahul. I am the CEO of Locus Play. Africa. There are many perceptions, rather misperceptions about Africa, and especially when doing business with Africa. Let me narrate you a small story about how the Africa is, what is the business environment, and how they play lottery. That's Africa, the fastest growing continent where more than a billion people live. And that's how they play lottery. There are more than 300 lotteries in Africa that sell $20 billion of paper tickets. These lotteries majorly are private companies with a license from the government. When we think of Africa, the first thought that comes to our mind is about robbery, kidnapping, internet scams, and whatnot. And we have a few more questions like, do they have power? Is there an internet? Do they use phones? But you will be surprised to know that lottery in Africa contributes significantly to the economy over there. There are a few countries whose lottery contributes significantly to the GDP. As well, in these countries, lotteries employ more number of people than the government does. In these countries, lottery is the only form of entertainment. There are no movie theaters. Clubs and pubs or bars are mostly for the elite class of people. Lottery is not only for fun, but it's a way to socialize for the people of Africa. Lottery industry supports billions of families and feeds them. Lottery is the bread and butter for many people who work for that in Africa. And that's the street of law. A lottery player or a lottery seller never gets robbed. A lottery winner can walk freely with the money that you see in the picture. You don't want to mess with something that feeds your family. Let's learn a little bit more about Africa. 3 out of the 5 countries in the world with highest GDP growth are in Africa. Majority of the countries in Africa are now politically stable. It's a $2.4 trillion economy. Africa has the best cellular network in the world. A lot of people have more than one cell phones, and the cost of data is just around $5 a month. 3G and 4G data for just around $5 a month. Africa has literally skipped the personal computing era, and they have directly jumped onto mobile commerce. M-Pesa is one of the most talked about success stories in Africa for mobile commerce. Now the question is, if Africa is so big in mobile commerce, why is the lottery left out? Why still today more than $20 billion of lottery tickets are sold on paper? We at Locus Play help lotteries go digital. We help paper-based lotteries go digital with our turnkey technology solution. Let's watch a small video on how Locus Play helped an African lottery use mobile phones and go digital. Sorry. Okay, there you go. I think there's some issue with the sound, probably, but it's a small video. Yeah, that's fine. It's almost done. Okay, that's locus play. Thank you very much. Yep.
You want to tell us maybe a little bit about like some of the things that the lottery experience of the uplift? Is there reduction of crime, less expenses, people more customer engagement?
Yeah, so see, with the lottery, as I said, the lottery is mainly at the form of an entertainment over there. It's one of the ways people entertain themselves. So going digital, that makes more and more people accessible to the lottery. So what happens is that more and more lotteries being played. A lot of money is used for a better cause. Like one of the customers, where who are using our system in Africa, they contribute a significant portion of the revenue to the local football federation. So what happens is that because of that, the football is very big in Africa in terms of sports, and the money goes for a better cause, that helps upbringing football players, with a lot of resources, and that helps them compete at the global level. So, some lotteries, they contribute to the education system in Africa, so going digital makes more and more people aware about it, makes them aware that, it's a fair play. With the technology, you can showcase that it's a fair play. You collect more money and you use that money for the better cause.
But do you have any statistics on your system is being used
Yeah.
in which country?
It's in the Gambia.
Okay, and do you have any statistics on what was going on before versus after, in terms of profit, in terms of accountability, other things that you've done?
Yes. So in terms of cost, there is a significant savings in cost. There are two major things where they're benefiting. Number one is the cost, and number two is the efficiency. So when and fraud. So what happens is that when you do a paper ticket, you have to make sure that one copy of your paper ticket reaches the lottery office before the draw takes place. And because of that, you have to cut off the game. There are a lot of logistics involved. A lot of people have to run around the various retailers who are selling lottery tickets, collect the ticket from them, and deposit it to the office. And they have to consolidate everything and find out who the winner is. But with technology, you don't need to do that. Everything is updated on real-time basis. Second thing is fraud. With paper tickets, it's prone to fraud. There are a lot of fraud happening. Sometimes retailers keep selling the tickets, keep accepting the bets even after the draw is declared, and that's the most dangerous thing in the lottery industry. With the technology, you can prevent fraud, and at the same time you save a lot of cost. So significantly, we have seen a reduction of 30% in the cost with the use of technology compared to the paper-based operation.
Have you noticed a rise in? Have they had noticed a rise in revenue because of the ease?
Yes. So earlier, people had an option only to go to a retailer and buy a ticket from there. Now, with the technology, there are players who can play even by sending a text message. Then there is a technology called USSD that's very popular in Africa, where you dial a number and you don't need a smartphone for that. You don't even need an internet for that. You just dial a number. It gives you a wizard step-by-step instructions, and in a few seconds you are done with buying a ticket, and the money automatically gets debited from your prepaid cellular account. So with all these things, people, and there is a lot of smartphone penetration, so people can download an application on their Android phone and they can play as well. So this brings, this brings a lot of new players, over to the lottery. Many people, for them there is a social stigma. They don't want to go to a retailer to play lottery. They can play it, online from the comfort of their home or wherever they are.
One of the issues in in mobile for real money was the fact that of the payments, and I know that this is a problem in emerging countries more so than even in Europe. Two things. One, the payments is an issue and has been, like, even for games, for, like, let's say India. So how do you get around that in Africa? I mean, you made the assumption just now that you just used, prepaid phone. Does everyone have prepaid phones there?
99% of the cellular users use prepaid plans in Africa. So that's a totally different. It's a culturally very different, So people go. So people in Africa, people are used to paying money like that. They go, they top up a small amount to their account. When it gets over, they go again and do that. So what we do is that we use the exact same phenomena in lottery, where there is for people who want to play online. You can't expect those people to have a credit card. So what we do is that they can open an account with a lottery, top up a small amount of money or whatever they want to play on their account, go online either with the cell phone or with even a computer, or send a text message and buy a lottery ticket from that money. When the money gets over, they go and top up again. And when they win, the money comes to their account. And when they come to withdraw, the system makes sure that the money is given to the right person who holds the account. So that way, we complete the check and make sure that the money reaches the right hand.
So the money goes back onto their account if they win?
Yes.
And is there a tax for that?
There is a tax for the individuals who win. Sometimes it's again as per the local laws of the country. Sometimes in majority of the African countries, lottery does not retain any portion of tax. The money is given to them, and lottery pays its own tax out of mainly as a sales tax, but not from the winners. Winners are responsible to pay taxes on their own.
But I mean, one of the things that again, back to real money, why they're not using the cell carriers as a means for source of payment is because the cell carriers want to charge a 40% premium.
Yeah, cell carriers are a little expensive, but at the same time, you get a leverage. You get free marketing. You reach out to your players. Cell carriers have all the database. Who all are people. And they have all the information about their demographics, about their spending pattern, and all. So at the same time, you pay a little bit more. You share a little bit more money with the carriers compared to the other means. But at the same time, you are reaching the mass. Now the second thing is that
Well, who pays for that? I think the player has to pay for that, not the lottery.
No, lottery has to pay. So it's like, lottery collects a certain amount of money, and they part a certain percentage of that money, which is collected through the cell carrier with the cellular operator. So, sometimes lottery can have an engagement where they pay on a per transaction basis. Per transaction basis means per text message basis, rather than paying on a per lottery ticket basis. Instead of paying a percentage, they buy bulk text messages. They buy 1 million text message, and they pay upfront for that. And whatever number of transactions happen over the text messages, cellular operator doesn't take any percentage out of that.
You said that in the paper system there was fraud.
Yeah.
And so presumably your system eliminated much of that fraud?
Yes.
So did you meet resistance?
I didn't get you.
Any enemies?
Not like that. See, in lottery.
The question was, is there corruption at a higher level?
No. See, in lottery, 90% of the fraud happens within. So people who do fraud, in the lottery are mainly the resellers. Okay, so what they do is that, they know who the winner is, and, if winner comes a little late to claim his prize, they go and claim the prize. Other thing what they can do is that, even after the draw is complete, you know what the numbers are, they keep selling the tickets, so that's the most dangerous part. With the technology, those things are completely eliminated. So these things are in favor of the lottery, because we prevent fraud at the ground level. No, what we do is that, we do not deal directly with the government. We deal with the private lotteries, the companies who have got the license from government. So we come into picture mainly when, they have obtained the license. and they are ready to roll out. So, for us, it's a fair transaction between the contract that we have executed between our company and their company.
And you said this is in Gambia?
Yeah.
And are you going to other countries now?
Yeah, we have customers in West Africa. We have customers in the Latin America as well.
Well, what's next?
Yeah, we keep innovating a lot of things in the product. We make sure that we build a lot of localization. So like lottery is more of a regional rather than a national. So even if you look at two countries which are adjacent, sharing the same land in an island, they play lottery completely differently. So what we do is that we implement a lot of regional flavors in our product, so that when we go to a new country, we go to a new lottery, they see that, okay, the product is specifically designed for them. They don't feel like we need to do a lot of customization to make sure that their lottery system is adapted to in our product.
Any more questions from the audience?
Any more questions? Well, thank you.
Thank you.